Hi, today we are going to talk about you don't need trust to have great relationships. And this is for people with complex PTSD. And this is really good news because people with complex PTSD typically have an impaired relationship or an undeveloped relationship with trust or damaged relationship with trust. And so it's like, how can I have great relationships if I can't trust? And I want to break all of that down to you today and what to do about it and really what you're looking for. There is something really a lot more important than trust to be looking for. And I'm going to show you what that is, and we're going to talk about it. And yeah, so this is going to really let you off the hook. It's going to let the people you're trying to have great relationships off the hook, and really help you really create more collaboration internally and in your relationships. That's going to skyrocket trust if you can have trust there. Okay, so I'm Rachel McLeod, and I'm a mental health therapist and an emotional wellness coach. I specialize in helping people doing the brain work for resolving symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress. And the brain has a really beautiful process for this. And that process gets stopped and impaired. My entire work is based on getting that brain function up and running and helping people resolve symptoms. And then also, that's the same process the brain uses to create health and wellness. And so, with that process open and running, the brain is able to complete its work for creating your health and wellness. And so, this is a lot different where we're providing brain support. We're actually also providing guidance of where we want the brain to work, and what we want the brain to heal and resolve. And we get to influence that, and while we're supporting the brain to do what it wants to do as well and what it needs to do. So that's a lot of my specialty. I also specialize I'm a complex PTSD recovery specialist. And so that's me, and so that's the perspective I'm bringing to this. And I also have my own history of complex PTSD, so I really had to figure this out from the bottom up. And so let's start with some the history of this. Okay, trust. When you grow up in an environment where your caregivers and your people and your tribe is harmful, inconsiderate, neglectful, impaired, debilitated, or addicted, there's a lot of inconsistency. There's a lot of, I'm going to say I'm going to do this and I'm going to not do it. I'm not following through. There's a lot of, your well being is not my highest priority, and I'm going to prove it to you through actions daily. Right. And when you're in an environment like this, trust is not you trust is not really a very securing, wonderful thing. Okay, now what happens when we become adults is we get into interactions with people and we want to be able to trust people. We say, I want to be able to trust, and I'm going to say, no, you don't. That's not actually what you're looking for. But we talk about that. I can't trust you. We have partners that are behaving badly, and we say, I can't trust you. Actually, yes, you can. Actually, I'm going to show you how you can in a second here. And this is why you're not looking for trust. And this is why you don't need trust, because it's actually already available to you and you don't like it. Okay. So, so, but we're really fighting for trust. We're fighting for trust. But when we do this, we are fighting a lot of times for other people to do what they said they were going to do, other people to not be impaired, other people to not be addicted. We're really looking for people to change their behaviors so that we can have what we want. And this, you can see that this would put us in a really powerless position and a really frustrating position. This is a no-win position. They're not going to behave well. They're going to let you down. You're going to feel like you can't trust. You're going to be upset about this. And the circle goes around and around and around and around. And to make things worse, you love them. Right? So I'm going to talk about trust for a second. And then I'm going to talk about what we're really looking for. And then we'll kind of weave them together a little bit here. Trust is the review of people's behavior and our expectations, what we can expect for people. Can I expect you to hold to our agreement? Can I expect you to consider my highest good as you're considering your highest good? And when we think trust, we're thinking faith. We're thinking about projecting into the future outcomes. We're doing probability analysis. Uh, and we want to be able to say, it'll be good, right? But really, you can trust people, you can trust people to behave exactly like they're showing you that they will behave, right? You have enough data on somebody to say whether you can trust them or not. And let's say you have a cheating partner. You can trust that they're going to cheat, right? That's not what you're saying. You want to be able to rely on them not to cheat. But the truth is that that's not available here. The truth is you want them to behave well. You want them to hold to your agreement. That's not a trust thing, right? A trust is a projection into the future. In the future, how can I adjust my expectations here? How can I feel safe? How can I feel secure? And so when we're trusting uh, that future projection, the future analysis, the future, it's going to work or it's not going to work, is you can pretty much tell how that's going to go. You can trust that, um, gosh, you can trust that I'm going to go live regularly, right? But you can also trust, if you've watched my past behavior, is that about once a month, I just don't show up. Sometimes I say something, sometimes I don't, right? That you can trust that. Like, we're not just trusting the positives that we want to see. We really need to be trusting what we have, the experiences we have, so that we can project adjust our expectations for the future. That's what we're doing with trust, right? And so you already have a lot of trust. If you can process it, if you can acknowledge it as trust. I can trust that my kids are going to squabble over the TV, right? I can trust that my alarm is going to go off in the morning when I set it, right? We have a lot of trust here because data shows it does what it's supposed to do, right? It does what it says it's going to do. Humans are a lot different. You can trust, you're not going to trust an addict to not use. You're going to look at their behavior and say, you know what? 67% of the time they're not using, and 33% of the time they are. Right? This is accuracy. We want accuracy. And so trust is already here. And we don't want to be fighting about, can I trust you or can I not? That's not here. We don't want to be in that. Now, one of the challenges with people with complex PTSD that we have to consider is that the ability to perceive danger and threat is distorted, has been compromised. And we need to get that accurate. And so sometimes we're perceiving danger where it's not, right? Sometimes there's danger present and we're not perceiving it. We're missing it, right? And I have videos on why that is. And so we really want to get that accurate. And it's hard to trust when you're not processing well. And so you're missing danger signals and threat signals, and you're mixing things up. And in intimate relationships, you're perceiving danger in there and there's not. Okay. I don't know why I put that one right here, but I'm putting it right there. I think I'm going to circle back to it. We'll weave it in. But what we are really looking for in relationships, and this is something you have complete control over, and you can build this. It's an inside job. This is what we're looking for in relationships. We are looking for security. We are not looking for trust. And for people that don't have trust, their trust has been like their security has been violated repeatedly in childhood, we are looking for anything that would help us feel secure. And we have a false belief that trust is going to make us feel secure. As someone being consistent in their behavior is going to make us feel secure. That's going to be nice, But it's not going to make you secure if you have a history of complex PTSD. Your nervous system, it creates, your brain, your mind body system creates and weaves together the illusion of safety for you. It is an illusion. And we want it to be accurate. We want that illusion to be helpful in abusive, toxic situations when you have, uh, when, God, the word just left, when you have security while you're being abused. This is not accurate, right? And it's okay. This is brains will become accurate if they're processing, and all of a sudden you're like, what? So it's even in those situations, the thing is really, let's get that process open and running, because that's how your executive functioning sees what's going on in your life, not just your thinking center thinks about what's going on in your life. Like, they need to go through their process of learning what's going on in the environment. And so we're going to walk that process. They're going to be appalled. They're going to clutch their pearls. I can't believe this. And they're going to get to work rewiring. And you're going to see yourself come out of these toxic situations, right? As you get that processing going. Okay. But security is what we're looking for. The more secure you are, the more your relationships will be great. And the more you won't tolerate not great relationships, right? You're not trying to make somebody who is low functioning higher functioning, which is what we're trying to do. One of the battles we're trying to do with, I want to be able to trust you. I want to make you higher functioning. And I don't accept that you're low functioning. I can't, I'm denying it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to deal with it. I am not willing to be present with that reality. I'd rather live in denial. Thank you. Or I'm being dramatic, but there's a lot there that's going on in the brain with trying to make somebody higher functioning than they are, right? We can't do that. Their brain is the only thing on the planet that can make them higher functioning. Now, we can support the brain. Some people need lots of processing support. Some people need vitamins, minerals. Some people need medication support, right? That's their business. We can observe and have some ideas and opinions, but their brain is responsible for making them higher functioning, not our. Now we're like, I keep communicating that I have this, that I need you to be able to trust you. I'm communicating that I need you to function higher, and they're not, because their brain can't do that yet, right? So we're wanting something that isn't here. And so we're stuck in a lose-lose situation. They can't win, we can't win, we're not winning. Here, we want to build security, internal security. That's what we're looking for. Can we have security while people are low functioning? Yes. Can we have security while people are behaving badly? Yes. This is something we want to get the brain doing. If it's not doing it yet, we want to be able to do it, because when that security is there, we're also going to have access to our executive functioning. We're going to have problem solving. We're going to have great communication skills. We're going to have our skills available to us. There's a lot of awesome that happens if we can feel secure. Oh, Rachel, you just want me to feel secure while I'm being abused by this person? Yes. Oh, Rachel, you want me to feel secure while someone's actively lying to me? Yes. Absolutely, because you're going to handle it better. You're going to rock it. You're going to process it. You're going to understand it. The security is the place we want to do as many life decisions, actions, experiences in. And when you are at ground zero with trust, either you don't know if you can trust them because they're new, or your ability to be accurate with your perception of danger and threat is now available to you, and now we've got the scorecards running on, like, okay, they can do this, they can't do this. We're learning about them actively, and we're just at zero. We can start to put some points over there. We can see who they are, and we can let them be who they are, and we can still feel secure. That I don't need your behaviors to be different for me to feel secure. This is hugely liberating. And if you come from a history of complex PTSD and you don't have this yet, that you might think I'm talking wackadoodle over here, but I'm not. This is really how it works. This is really what securely attached people are doing in the world. right? They're letting people be who they are, and they're walking around there. I see you, I see you, I see you. Oh, we're a match. We're not a match. And their feelings. It's not about them. Oh, you're doing this because you don't like me, and there's a lot of that going on. That if we can get that security built, this would be great. Okay, security building is absolutely one of the outcomes we need your brain to do in order for you to recover from complex PTSD. It's part of what your brain will automatically do as you're processing. There's exercises for this, there's strategies for this, and this is what we want to build. When I talk about resolving symptoms and building health and wellness, I'm talking about building security. And we do go through first healing wounds, resolving traumas, releasing stored and stuck emotions. That is a process. Also, that's where your brain is practicing working with all this energy in an effective, healthy way. And actually, you're actually building trust with your own system. Oh, my system can process that because I've watched it process it. I've watched it. The data says that with fear, I can process it 97% of the time. 3% I need some help. I can process it 53% of the time. 47% of the time, I need to go get some help. Right. And you can trust that. That helps. But that accuracy of trust evaluation, analysis, executive functioning really helps you be secure and build security with that, because then you're being accurate, you're supporting yourself accurately. Okay, in relationships with people of every kind of behavior, right? Because we want to be adaptive and flexible, and we want to know what to do with each different kind of thing, right? We want to know a couple of things. Am I competent to handle this if they behave badly? Can I be okay? We really want to know if we're going to survive. Our survival system's watching all of this, and it's like in the background, are we going to survive or not? Are we going to survive? I don't know if we are, right? This part with complex PTSD is really inaccurate in the beginning, and which is why we want to do a lot of processing, because it gets more and more accurate. Your mind body system reads the environment more and more accurately. Not it's looking at the environment now, but it's reading all the things that happened in the past. That's a brain that is delayed in processing, and it doesn't know what to do with all the stuff. Maybe it belongs all here. Let's dump it on the scenario and see. But it's so much stuff here, I can't even see the present. And I'm dissociating, right? So in here, we want to know, can we survive? If they lie to me, can I survive? Survival system wants to know. Right. Next, we want to know if I'm going to choose a bad behavior because you can see this dynamic easier than if they're a positive behavior. Okay. If they lie to me, do I have the competency to navigate this well? Do I have the skill set? Have I proven to myself that I can rock this? That I can interact with this person in a way that's a win-win and no sweat off my back. Right. If the answer is yes, great. You're feeling secure. You can, yeah, they're lying to me here, and I can deal with this. This is what happens with children. If you don't have any capacity, if you don't have competency working with children lying to you, that's a you thing. That's not a child thing. They're doing the right thing. They're supposed to explore life, and that means lying too. And they will. Their nervous system already knows this. And so how you interact with that is based on your competency. And you're going to have more security here. We're not telling children, hey, I need to be able to trust you. If I can't trust you, this isn't going to work. No, we're saying, how does that feel when you're lying? Oh, I can see, if we found out you're lying here. How'd you like that? And how are you liking the consequences? And what did that feel like for you? Why'd you do it? Right? We're exploring it with them non-judgmentally. And then we're directing. We're not making it a big trusting, I can't trust you. We can bring that in, but we want them to finish with that, right? We want them to outgrow lying. We want them to choose a higher, healthier, more pro-social activity, way of communicating, way of having power, really, is what they're doing. Okay, if someone lies to me, am I capable? If someone lies to me, do I have capacity? If any of this is no, it's no. It's just no. Like, I don't want to deal with a partner lying to me. Don't even want it, not doing it. Right? And so I don't want a friend lying to me. I don't want that. Can my clients lie to me? Absolutely. I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that, because when you're lying, you're actually pulling from your own subconscious programming, and there's a ton of healing work we can get done while you're lying. That's great. I'm here for it. So right here, I would still stay in a relationship with my clients. In my personal life, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with that. Um, so I require a higher level of development on your programming for how you maintain and keep power in relationships. I just do. Um, but we also want to know, do I have capacity for this? I think I just said that, but many of us with complex PTSD cannot read our capacity accurately. We think we have all this capacity, I'm going to do it all. You don't. And then your adrenals are shot and this and that. And then other people are think I can't do it. I can't do it. And you can, right? And so it's hard to be able to create security in relationships when you can't assess and evaluate your capacity, your capability, your competency, right? When you're impaired, your processing is impaired, and so you can't do an effective risk analysis because your brain is really choosing denial strategies and suppression strategies, right? And so your brain is going to have a difficult time creating security, and it knows that. And so when it has that difficulty, it's going to say, well, we can't do it from in here. Let's go out here and control everybody else. Seriously. Because the brain wants that, needs that security. That is where we do all of our processing, our digesting, our rest. If we don't have enough security, we're not processing, we're not digesting, we're not resting. And if we can't do the processing internally because our processing is impaired, now we need to go control somebody else. And I'm not mad at you about this. That's one of my favorite pastimes. And so it is what it is. But that's a sign that we don't have enough internal security being created by our mind-body system. Okay. And even the addiction of needing to control other people and finding controllable people or people that will give you a good fight for control, so you're distracted from your inner world, is a whole thing. Right? And that's signs that we're not processing well, that we can't rely on our processor, that our capacity for processing is impaired. Are you following me? Right? Are you following what I'm saying? Do you see that if we're arguing about trust, there are a lot bigger issues going on inside of us that we actually need to go get attending to. And that we don't ever want to be in a struggle for controlling somebody else's behavior. You know, I think that this movement of let them is really gaining momentum, which is wonderful. And there's so much power there. We have so much power of influence from our inner world. If we can create security, internally, which takes a bit of work, right? We have to be able to process and to integrate our capacity, our abilities, our competencies, to perceive danger accurately or not accurately. There's a lot of processing that takes place. Mind you, this sounds overwhelming, but your mind-body system is phenomenal at this, and is when it can and when it has the support that it needs. Okay. So I'm never overwhelmed by somebody bringing me all their trauma and like, but can I work this? Absolutely. Like your inner world in the back there is like, let's go. This is gonna be so much fun. They don't care. They love this stuff. It's the prefrontal cortex. It's the survival system that's absolutely distressed by this. And so we really want to support them to get the processing done that your mind-body system is absolutely capable of doing, and quickly. Right? This is an electrical process once it's moving well. And so we're getting stuff done at the speed of electricity, which is optimal brain speed, which is what we can help our brain do. Okay. A couple of other things I want to say. Trust, when we are fighting for people to trust, you're seeing that we're actually asking them to behave more consistently, better, and to function at a higher level. This is absolutely a conversation you can have. You can have this conversation. Hey, I really want you to wash more dishes more consistently. Great. Excellent. Right? But when we're going to, I need you to because I can't trust you and it's really, now we're like, I need you to do this so that my inner world doesn't malfunction. right? I need this trust, and we don't need trust. Trust is whipped cream on top. Trust is yummy. Trust is not the actual cake or the cupcake or the coffee. It's the whipped cream. And when that is really nice, that's a side effect of all this processing, all the security that you're getting. And it will be natural. You will find yourself surrounded by people that you can trust to do the right thing, trust to hold your highest good in mind, trust to be helpful, not harmful, trust to be considerate, not inconsiderate. You'll be liberated from these patterns of harm, of inconsideration, of neglect. You will be liberated from it just by processing. It happens all the time. This is what we're doing. Brains are great at this. Your brain is great at this. It just needs specific support. It's designed like that. Somebody asked me, why can't the brain do this itself? This is the design. It's been like this since you were an infant. It's why we're rocking babies. It's why if you don't touch an infant, you just feed them, but you actually don't touch the skin and do the things, that baby will die. Where our neurology is set up to need body support to send signals of safety to the survival system, which then allows the processing doors to open and then processing, right? If our safety is, our brain thinks, our survival system thinks we're not safe, it closes down, nothing gets processed. All that emotion, all those experiences and emotional distress gets stored in the body, and the body keeps the score. So this is just how we're designed. And healthy systems have plenty of this in their systems. Babies are being rocked and held. People are being talked to and listened to, right? You might not have had a history of that. We need to do those reps now. Okay. And that's what we're doing. That's how we're restoring this. We're building healthy brain function and overcoming and resolving complex PTSD. So, okay, so I have written down here, so I'm going to chat about it for a second, is it's really important to be able to evaluate, to be able to analyze, and to be able to do some pattern recognition. That's a processing thing. Some people are gifted with these things, without having to process so much. But to get accurate evaluations, to get accurate pattern recognition, to get accurate, not stuff you're making up, not stuff that you're projecting, not stuff that is distorted, but to get accurate stuff, it requires quite a bit of processing. And so we really want to rely on processing here. And so if you're relying on processing and your brain is doing it, you're going to watch yourself build security, self-competence, self-capacity, self-trust. And if you can't trust yourself to process your distress, if you can't trust yourself to build and grow and take challenges and overcome them and to get up after failures, you're not going to be able to trust somebody else. And so, but to have great relationships, you don't need to. You just need to get in there and get to work, get to processing, really. And so, so I feel like I provided you a bunch of information, and I hope that you can apply it. You can think about this stuff. I really feel like in this video, I'm kind of laying out topics and naming things, and not necessarily working strategies as much, which I'd like to do. So I might be thinking about doing some more videos on this in the future. Yeah. Okay. One other thing I have written down is that people with trust problems, if they're not processing, you're going to watch some limps in the walk. And these are signs that security is trying to be grabbed for. And this is when people are over making agreements. They're fighting for accountability, right? Accountability should be like, we all want to be accountable and to have accountability. But when we're trying to grasp for trust instead of inner security, we're going to go try and chase people around for accountability, instead of it being a mutually beneficial process. And I'm not shaming or making wrong the chasing around of people. I'm seeing signs. I'm sharing signs. This is where we want to come back into our place of power. If we're chasing people, we're kind of giving up our power. And so I don't want you to do that. I want you to be a very powerful, very impactful, very effective human. And we need to do things and work with our brain and not against our brain. And so Yes, and then people who talk about I need to be able to trust you. That's it's a graspy thing and you don't need it. You actually need oxygen and water and shelter and clothing and safety. And you're going to want security. We don't need whipped cream. We like it. I like it. And we want that coming, but there's a way to get it. And there's a way to make it sustainable. And there's a way to make it like people are throwing it at you. And that's the situation I want you to be in. I want you to be in a situation where people are throwing at you what you want and what you desire and what you love. And it's that work is in the internal. And when you start seeing it show up, you're going to be like, oh, I have a hard time proving this to people before because it's very counterintuitive. But when I pull them into their inner world and we're processing, then they're like, oh, and then this is happening and this is happening. And then it's like, and then I say things like, what are you learning about trust? And then they go off, right? Because I need their brain to see that they are actually learning about trust. So I'll ask them. And so to really sink that in there. And they're seeing how the dynamics of trust work, right? And so we can position ourselves differently. So, I want you to see that. I want you to feel liberated. I want you to feel hopeful. I want you to feel like you have power and control over how to get this and how to get this whipped cream. I love some whipped cream. So I want you to have that. I want you to know how to get that. And I want to bring you back into your inner world, to the seat of creation within you. Ooh, that was nice. I like saying that. I want you to be there because that's where you make it. That's where it's made. That's where it all happens. I also want to invite you for this work to really get that processing support moving. I have 3 favorite interventions for this. And these interventions work well, they work quickly, and there's no known side effects. And so I want to invite you to let me train you for free on these, and then you can try them out for yourself and you can see if it helps your survival system shift from survival mode to thriving mode. If that does, awesome. Use it, keep using it, use it a lot. We want to do a lot of processing by the time we're in complex PTSD land. There's a lot of things that need to get processed. If you find an intervention that works, I want you to know that I have a proven process of guiding people to resolve complex PTSD, anxiety, depression, and trauma disorders, and to help them build health and wellness. And it's very systematic and thorough, and it's an 8-week journey that's pretty fun. That's in my program, Inner World Transformation. And so the links to check those out are in the description below. And gosh, it's wonderful hanging out. Gosh, I love that word. It's so old. Somebody made a comment to me, some little whippersnapper, that has forever changed my perspective. I was at T-Mobile in there, and we were jamming I was waiting, as you do, and I was listening to the music, and it was all Whitney Houston, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And this little person said, oh, the oldies, I know, right? I was horrified. So now now that I've had that experience, I don't want to do that to anyone ever again. I'm not old. What are you talking about? I'm like, anyway. It's wonderful connecting. Follow me on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, like, subscribe, hang out with me, watch more videos. Let's talk about it. Ask questions. Put your questions in the comments. I am watching those. I'm starting to have more comments, so I'm getting a little behind, but hey, I'm going to be there eventually. But I'll see you around. Bye.